Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Bitcoin continues to move within this small resistance area that we have on the chart here. This wave 2 possibly could move down in the third wave to the downside next within wave C. That's still my primary scenario here on the shorter time frame within this current correction. However, obviously there are some conditions. For example, the price must not within this scenario, which would lead to a third wave breakdown within wave C, the price is not allowed to break above that invalidation point up there. And that's at $44,410 roughly. Yeah, the peak that was made on Friday. And already a break above the standard Fibonacci resistance zone for wave 2, which is at, well, the key level here is 43,837. Already a break above that would put us somewhere in no man's land. Yeah, but then the wave 2 can still stretch. But it's usually the case, as we've seen with ETH earlier today, once there is a break above the 78.6 retracement, it's typically a warning that something more bullish is going on. And in the most simple form, this could simply be a reset of wave B. Okay, so remember, all we're doing here at the moment is tracking the waves. They have very, very limited predictive character within corrections. This isn't really in any way to be meant predictive. I received a few questions about that in the previous videos. See, if you want to learn Elliott Wave and want to learn more about how the analysis really works in detail, you might want to check out our membership. Of course, you don't have to, but we have a lot of content how to understand the analysis, how to understand price movements within corrections. Very important, and that's what most people don't have. Within corrections, one of the main benefits of Elliott Wave is to tell us we are in a correction, and also that we are in a larger uptrend. So of course a correction can be a little bit more shallow, less deep, can finish a little early. The main benefit is to understand we are in an uptrend. This is a counter trend move. We are in a bullish market. Counter trend moves might be shallow in bullish markets, so be prepared, it could turn early. But understand that the messy structures within corrections, all we're doing here is we're tracking the waves to understand when does the next impulse to the upside show. Very important is to have the right mindset within corrections. The mindset is so important. A lot of people think the waves are predictive, and I know it. When I read people go short here or something, you can do that. But it wouldn't be based on Elliott Wave necessarily, right? Because you don't trade the waves, you trade the levels that the wave count reveals. And if you understand that we are in a larger uptrend, and when you understand that we are in a correction within a larger uptrend, then pullbacks in corrections are rather buying opportunities instead of trying to trade against the higher level trend. So if you decide to trade against the higher level trend, you might do that if you're a counter trend trader, but that's just much more difficult. Okay, so there is a lot of stuff that has to, the mindset stuff is so important, often more important than the analysis itself. We've got a lot of that within our membership, but just as a side note, because I read it time and time again, I want that everybody succeeds and everything. But obviously when you approach a video like that and you don't know how the analysis is to be understood, then it's a little bit more difficult if you think all the waves are predictive. But I often mention in the videos, not within corrections necessarily. They allow us to track resistances, invalidation points, but they have less predictive power within corrections. In an impulse, absolutely, that's where they shine, the Elliott Waves. Until then, we're just tracking. Oh, an impulse shows, great, we've got a setup, right? So that's sort of how it needs to be understood. And also we use the waves to understand when the correction is likely finished, when the correction, is likely going to be finished. And it's typically going to be finished or coming close to an end if we get this kind of A, B, C correction here. Yeah, so we want that C wave down to be completed. We want that C wave down. And at the moment, yeah, we might have started the C wave, but it's just very choppy price action down here. Very, very choppy. So overall, we've worked through this correction. We've got a wave A. We possibly have the B wave. Okay, that might still extend. And at the moment, we're just tracking if the C wave is unfolding. And as I mentioned yesterday, everything between where we are now and the end of the C wave is literally just noise. I wouldn't even try to trade it. Stay on the higher level. If you want to avoid the chop, if you want to avoid the messy price action within corrections, then yeah, zoom out and just trade the higher time frame. That's typically what I do to stay out of the chop, to stay out of the mess really that happens typically in corrections. It's what it is. And so looking at the structure, then the price has reached that descending trend line that we talked about in the previous video. I highlighted to you. It's likely going to reach it, to test it. If it breaks it, then yeah, I mentioned the next levels, right? And ideally, in a third wave down, it would turn to the downside somewhere here. But so far, there is absolutely no signal that this short-term rally that started yesterday is finished. Eventually, the price has exactly done what we wanted it to do. We saw 5 waves down. I gave you resistance. And today, the price moved into resistance. It's now stuck there. And the market is trying to find a way to deal with this. But don't forget, bigger picture-wise, we expect the price to rally to around about 50K plus next. Yep, ideally we get that C wave down, but so far I don't like the look of that structure. So it might stretch out a little further. And if something more bullish shows, I will make you aware. But the boundaries, the parameters that we're observing, they haven't changed in a long time. So this is the support zone, hasn't changed in 2 to 3 weeks. Since we entered that correction, this is our main support zone. As long as that's holding, the idea is still that we should get that rally to 50K plus. That's my update about Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.